Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be an unboxing video. I just got a recent order from my comic shop, and this is a pretty big order. There's lots of fun things in this book, this order. I actually was trying to get a complete collection of David Stevens art, and you're going to see a lot of Dave Stevens art in this video. So if you're a fan of Dave Stevens or don't know who he is, you might like this video because he's a great artist, and you'll see. Oh, I gotta put it over here. It's a very heavy box. So with all that being said, I'll open it up. All the paperwork, packing material. This is a big order. There was about, I think there's like 50 some odd comics in this order, 50, 60. And there's a bunch of magazines that I got as well, comic magazines kind of thing. I'll show you those as well. I won a lot that they had for auction. Okay, so we're gonna open up this first bag, which actually the tape is very sticky. It's not letting go. Okay, so let's get into this first bunch of comics. Now, actually, I got one of these comics is a bonus comic in a way. This is Classics Illustrated with Tom Sawyer, number 50. This is actually mentioned in The Seduction of the Innocent, and it's the second copy of it that I have. So I actually wanted to get 2 copies of this so that I could do a giveaway and have a cool Golden Age one that I could give away. And I thought this was a great one to offer as a giveaway. So that's going to be for a future giveaway. The next one is a Fazetta cover. This is Death Stealer. And I actually really just recently, maybe a couple of years ago, heard about this book. And I should have bought it like a while ago. I don't know why I never did. I'm a big fan of Fazetta's artwork, and I just never did. I don't know why, but I figured, hey, I should really pick it up. So I really like his artwork. Super curious about this book, and I actually was kind of reminded about it because there was this book offered on like Heritage or Comic Link or one of those sites, and I saw it and I was like, oh, why didn't I ever pick that book up? So I finally picked it up, and that's Death Dealer number 1. Another one that I picked up is, as I said, I'm picking up David Stevens art. So this is some of David Stevens art. Mr. Monster number 2. So, I figured, hey, I'm going to try to get all the David Stevens collection. And this is one of the ones that he did. I'm not necessarily a fan of this cover in particular, but I am trying to get the complete David Stevens collection. So this is part of that. But you'll see the next one is why I like David Stevens. And it's for these girls. David Stevens does these kind of sexy girls, and he does this good girl art, modern good girl art. David Stevens was really popular from the early 80s all the way up to the end of the 80s. He died fairly young, so he didn't really have much of a career beyond that. But he was, a great artist, and he's most famously known for having created The Rocketeer and doing these kind of good girl art covers. So this was a really great one. Another one that I got that's kind of not a spec, actually. It's a spec for most people, but for me, it was based on liking, what's it called? I'm gonna remember. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but this is the Wrecker. First appearance of the Wrecker in Thor, and MODOK. I was trying to remember. In MODOK, the Wrecker appears, and he's sort of like this character that he actually gets killed. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's just I actually like MODOK. I think it's really funny. It's one of those underrated shows. It's very Robot Chicken like, and I was a big fan of Robot Chicken, so I liked the Wrecker in MODOK. I thought it was a cool character. I thought it was funny He just, yeah, no respect, no love. I just thought he was really funny in the Modoc series, so you have to check it out to understand. But this is the first appearance of the Wrecker. Now, there's some rumor the Wrecking Crew, and there's some other books associated to the Wrecking Crew that are pretty hot right now. But this is the first appearance of the Wrecker, and it's actually becoming a hot book on its own right. The next one is Fantastic Four Annual number 5. And I was actually recommended this book by Mark Ulroyd, who we do a show together, the Price Variance. And we do it on every Monday, pretty much. We try to do a show. And he was the one that recommended this one. This is the first origin story of the Silver Surfer. So it's kind of a major, it's a full-length feature of the Silver Surfer. It's kind of like his story. So kind of a major key that's really under the radar for most people. Still a fairly pricey book, but still undervalued for what it is. Okay, so that's Fantastic Four Annual number 5. And the next one is this one. This is called Orbit. Orbit. Orbit number 1. And this is just Dave Stevens' cover. So I'm not sure where you see it. Oh, yeah. You can see his signature at the very bottom. Like, it's not his signature, but it's his, his symbol at the bottom that he did the cover for this one. It's just a really great, good girl, airbrushed cover. It's kind of nice. Another thing that you'll see a lot of in this unboxing is the Ultimate Fantastic Four. So I picked up all the Marvel zombie related Ultimate Fantastic Fours, and I really enjoyed them as a read. And before reading them, I actually read the issues that were before it online. And so I decided, hey, why not just get the whole series? I think it's a great series. Why not just get the whole series? So this is Ultimate Fantastic Four number 52. There's like 60, I believe, in the series. Another thing that I got was some Golden Age Wonder Woman. So I put some best offers in for Golden Age Wonder Woman. So this is Wonder Woman 51. Just a nice Wonder Woman cover. Now this one's a little bit spotty, and you'll see what I mean. It's got some brown spots. And that was one of the ways that I was able to negotiate a good price on this one. This is Wonder Woman 71, another Golden Age Wonder Woman. And then we have Wonder Woman, I believe it's 72. 72. So another Golden Age Wonder Woman with a golden Steve Trevor. Yeah, he gets turned into gold. It's kind of cool. And then we got Wonder Woman number 63. And somebody actually put their name stamp on it, which is kind of interesting. So number 63. So I'm getting really close to having all the Wonder Woman. I have about 30 some odd left to get. So I'm pretty close to getting that complete collection. And then we have Marvel Age number 12. And this is kind of a significant book, pretty much under the radar for most people. In it, they show the black costume for Spider-Man. And it's sort of like that submission that the boy did. There was a boy that basically was a fan, and he, put in this art submission. And they liked it so much, this black costume for Spider-Man, that they ended up doing a whole series about it. So this is the book where that happened. So Marvel Age number 12. Kind of a early appearance of the black costume. Another book that I've seen this offered so many times on auction, and actually I tried to win it a few times, and every time I get outbid. But they just happen to have it at my comic shop. And it's a low grade, but it's a well-presenting low grade. There's some rips at the top, though. You'll see there's rips at the top there. But it's a really nice copy of Sinbad, Son of Sinbad. And it's just a really nice kind of a sexy cover. I just really like it. I actually like, I was a big fan of the Howard Husen, like claymation. Like, it's like all those little guys with like the skeletons, or they would do like Jason and the Argonauts and Sinbad, and they would do a bunch of different stories. I think it was Sinbad and the seven seas or something like that. It was a really good claymation like story from the 50s, and so I really liked that whole series. So I was a big fan of Sinbad. Actually, I noticed another issue that kind of brings down the grade. It was this big chunk that's taken out of it. So that's probably why it got such a low grade. But other than that, it really does present quite well. Okay, so that was the first bag. Now we got another one. And I told you this tape is really sticky. It's like stuck to me. It's like so crazy. Really sticky tape. I don't know why it's so sticky. Okay. It's just not letting me go. Okay. Okay, so the first one is actually a really interesting one. This is World's Finest number 274. Now, this is not a key, really, but it's the time where Hawk Girl is no longer because she becomes Hawk Woman in this comic. They rename Hawk Girl Hawk Woman. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that they renamed a character in this. They were trying to be like, a bit more progressive, and instead of calling her girl, they made her Hawk Woman. So I thought that was interesting. I figured for $2, why not? So yeah. It wasn't an expensive book. It wasn't like, it's not a major key or anything. And then you get some more Ultimate Fantastic Four, and this is number 24. So not a key issue. None of these, like, these are more just filler issues of that. But then I got, as I said, David Stevens, he did The Rocketeer, and this is The Rocketeer, another really great one. This is from 1991. So this is the official movie adaptation of The Rocketeer. Just a really great cover, very patriotic cover. And it's just, I really liked, actually I liked the Rocketeer movie. I thought it was a really great movie. One that didn't especially do that well, but was a highly underrated movie. It was just a really good movie. So definitely recommend you check out the original Rocketeer movie. They're going to do a remake, so Rocketeer right now is really hot. But that's not why I bought it. As I said, I'm trying to collect David Stevens art. And then we got Fantastic Four number 55, Ultimate Fantastic Four. And then we got some more David Stevens art. This is a great cover. This is the Elvis cover. This is Crossfire and the Rainbow. And it's just a really nice cover. This is Crossfire and the Rainbow number 4. So you just did some really kind of nice good girl art there. And then we got Ultimate Fantastic Four again, number 56. And then we have another Dave Stevens. So you're going to see lots of Dave Stevens. This is Grendel. He did Grendel number 4. It's just an interesting cover. And then we got Ultimate Fantastic Four 51. And then we got another Rocketeer. So this is another Rocketeer book, number 1. It's just a really great cover. So it's the Rocketeer Adventure Magazine number 1. And it's just a really great Dave Stevens cover. And we got Fantastic Four number 59. And more Dave Stevens. So it's like alternating between Dave Stevens and Ultimate Fantastic Four. So this is King Kong number 1. And this is just I really like this cover. I was a big fan of the original King Kong. And I just really enjoyed King Kong as a kid. you know, I couldn't get enough of it. I just like the dinosaurs in it, and like I love claymation, and like in terms of an animation style. I don't know, I'm kind of silly that way. I remember even as a kid, I would like make these little claymation models and try to move them around, and like I didn't really understand how claymation worked, but I really enjoyed it. But this is a just really great, you know, moment that they captured in this cover. Sort of like, you know, she's a little bit, you know, exposed, and it's like that scene of horror where she was like sort of in the palm of King Kong's hand. I really like this cover. I think one of my favorite Dave Stevens covers, actually, for many reasons. Then we got another Dave Stevens one. This is Girl Crazy #1. So you'll see a bunch from this series in here, but they're not all Dave Stevens art. But this is the first Dave Stevens Girl Crazy #1. And he did a lot of stuff for Dark Horse. So, and then we got Spider-Man and meets Swamp Thing #1, number 68. I forgot what was the reason behind this one. Actually, this is a book I was searching for a while, and I'm trying to remember the reason behind it. I'm going to have to look this up. I'll look this up, and in the description, you'll see the notes for why this is in here. And I'm blanking on why, actually, right now, but I will put it in the notes, hopefully. And if I don't, I'll put it later. I'll remember later. But it's a great cover. You know, Man-Thing and Spider-Man. And then we got Ultimate Fantastic Four #60. And we have number 28, number 20. And then we have another series that's interesting. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, Radiant Black. Somebody else was going on about it, and I thought, hey, I might as well check it out. And I try to pick up a few issues in this collection from that series. And then we have Girl Crazy #2. It's only a 3-part series. This is a different artist, but just #2 of that series. Again, all these were like $2. Why not buy them at that price? So this is Radiant Black 6. I actually have the complete collection of Radiant Black as a result of this. And then we got Ultimate Fantastic Four #57. And then Radiant Black #4. And then they had then we have Crime Syndicate #1. And this, I forget, there's actually a first appearance in this. I'm not going to look it up. You can tell me in the comments below who the first appearance was. But yeah. And then we have Grendel #1. I was surprised that this was quite affordable. I think it was like $10 or something. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't like I was expecting it to be quite pricey, because this is Grendel #1, the very first Grendel series. It's not his first appearance, but it is the first Grendel series, and it's from 1986. So kind of interesting. That wasn't Dave Stevens' art, but he did #4 in that series. And then we have 58 of Ultimate Fantastic Four. And we have Radiant Black number 6B. This is the B cover. And then we have Girl Crazy, the last in the series. This is number 3. No, again, not Dave Stevens' art, but yeah, kind of a cool cover. I figured I might as well get the whole set. It's just three issues. And then, okay, so I actually have another stack of books. And then, but I might as well show you some magazines. And there's a reason why I bid on this one. It was really cheap. So typically these magazines are actually quite expensive. They go from probably around between $20 to $40, depending on the grade. and I got the whole set for 40 bucks. So I was like, hey, if I can get a set of comics for the price of one comic, I'm going to do it. And that's what happened with this. So these are Tales from the Tomb, and this is like from the 1960s. It's not super old, 1960s to 1970s. And they're just cool horror comics. I just thought they were comic magazines. So I just thought they had really kind of these vibrant, kind of crazy covers, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So this is Tales from the Tomb from January 1974. It's just a nice, crazy cover. I just really liked it. And then we got from September 1973, this is Tales from the Tomb. I don't know, like they use volumes, and I'm not sure what issue number this is, but this is the September 1973. So it's just a really great cover. I just think these really kind of almost reminds me of the pre-code horror style. So I thought that was quite interesting. That's a lot of, like, after the Comic Code Authority came into play, the only way you could get kind of more the gruesome horror covers was through magazines. That's why these are all magazines. So we got from, I think that's 1970, October 1970, Tales from the Tomb. Nice werewolf cover. And again, like as I said, these go for anywhere like $20 to $40 depending on the grade. And these are all in high grade actually. So maybe even more than that. So this is Tales from the Tomb, May 1974. It's really great. I really like these covers. That's why I got interested in the series. I thought the covers were cool. Why not get them? They just really great covers. I like vampires and, you know, all the different monsters and stuff. Kind of cool. And then we got Tales from the Tomb, March 74. Another vampire one. And this is a decapitation cover. Tales from the Tomb, July 1974. Kind of a cool, gory, lots of blood. Even more bloody than what you'd see in the in the Golden Age. Like these are like Golden Age wouldn't really show blood, but as much. Like they would show, they would show gore or people potentially getting hurt or chopped up or whatever, but not necessarily the blood. So these have a lot more that blood element to them. So you see the damsel in distress here. This is a really great one with the mummy, and I really like it. She almost looks like Deja Thoris or something like that. It's kind of interesting. This is Tales from the Tomb. I have no idea what the issue number is on this one, but just really like the artwork. You can see, kind of cool artwork. So I thought, wow. So I got, how many was there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 for the price of one. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, next is one more stack, and then I have a couple slabs. I have a feeling that these are going to be mostly Ultimate Fantastic Four, but we'll see. Oh, actually, there's some other cool things in here too, I see. Okay, so we got Vanguard number 7, and this series actually kind of a cool series. Number 2 of the series is a Dave Stevens cover, which I already had, but it's also the first appearance of some characters. And number 7 is another first appearance. So this is the first appearance of Mr. Monster, which is kind of an interesting character. So basically it's like these family, their Stern family, and they basically they become monster hunters, Mr. Monsters. And they basically to each generation, they kind of transfer their powers and knowledge to the future generations. So they basically carry on the legacy. And they learn from past mistakes of the previous Mr. Monsters. So this is the first appearance of Mr. Monster, which is Vanguard number 7. So kind of a cool comic. Then we got some more Ultimate Fantastic Four, number 29. Number 29. And then we got some cool Dave Stevens art. This is a really great one. I was really excited to get this one. This was about $7 actually. It's a high grade VF. And this is Pacific Presents The Rocketeer by David Stevens. It's a really great David Stevens art. I think it's one of these ones where it's like you got Dave Stevens at the top of the page and Steve Ditko at the bottom of the page doing the artwork. So it's kind of a two artists in one kind of cover. And we got Ultimate Fantastic Four, number 54. And then we got number 27. Then we got number 25. No order to these, I can see that. And we got Mr. Monster number 1. I figured, hey, if I'm going to get, the first appearance of Mr. Monster, why not get the first title, Mr. Monster? So this is Mr. Monster number 1. Again, not an expensive book. So very affordable. I think it was like either $2 or $5. It wasn't very much. And then we got the B cover from Radiant Black. Now the A cover I just wasn't available, but I figured, hey, this is the next best thing, the B cover. I guess this is a pretty hot series right now. So I was lucky just to get that even. Then we got Pacific Comics Presents The Rocketeer, and this is another Dave Stevens cover. Just a really great cover. I just really like Dave Stevens. And then we got another Dave Stevens art. This is True Love, number 1. It's just a really great. Got that 80s vibe, really down pat. Like this if you were to describe the 80s, this would be it. That whole style, like just I don't know. It's got the poofy hair and the jean jacket with maybe even has shoulder pads. It just has that 80s vibe to it. It's pretty great. And then we got the Ultimate Fantastic Four number 53 and number 19. And then we got some different stuff. Okay, we got another one. This is just one I thought was a really interesting cover. And this is Mortella. Well, I'm going to totally brutalize the name on this. Sorry, my pronunciation. Mortana. I think that's the way you pronounce it. And I'll get a whole bunch of people correcting my pronunciation. I'm terrible at pronunciation. And people always make fun of me for my pronunciation. So, sorry. I mispronounced it totally. Okay. Then we got Fantastic Four number 26. And then we got one more Radiant Black, which is number 3. Now, if you've stayed all this time, you are actually in for a treat because I have 2 more things to show. And they're both really heavy. Oh my goodness, so heavy. So I have 2 more things to show. And one of them is actually super cool. And I was actually able to get it for a really great price. So I was like, wow, that's a really great price. I might as well pick it up. I'll show you the first thing, which is a slab. And this is a slab that I've been actually chasing for a while. Like a long while, like 30 years. This is 30 years in the making, getting this slab. Every time I try to get this book, I just have some bad luck where I just don't get it for whatever reason. So this is Magnus the Robot Fighter, 4000 AD, number 1. It's the first appearance, and it even says that. Origin and first appearance of Magnus. It's just, it's got a nice painted cover. You can see that. And a painted back cover. It's kind of cool. Really great covers. I really like these ones. These painted gold key covers. And I really liked Gold Key. I mentioned this many times. I grew up on Gold Key comics, but mostly the Disney stuff. But I really liked Gold Key. And this is from 1963. So this is kind of a nice one to have in the collection. Actually, this was the most expensive item in this order. Except for some of the Wonder Womans were pretty pricey, actually. Now, I'll show you the other thing. It's really heavy. So it's in plastic right now. I'm going to take it out of the plastic just to show you what it is. You're probably like, what is it? It's like comic guide. This is the Gerber's book. And so many people have been telling me, do you have the Gerber's book? Do you have the Gerber's book? Well, now I do. Now I do. I can now finally say I have the Gerber's photo journal. And what's great about this book, and this is not the complete series. This is actually K to Z. Okay, they actually didn't have A to K or A to whatever. So they just happened to have K to Z, which is volume 2. I was like, oh, I guess I will just have to settle for half half of what I actually need. But I thought it was cool. The Gerber's Guide, basically, it's just a photo journal, and as the name implies, but it shows you all the great comics. Like, look, you got like right here, Daredevil battles Hitler. How awesome is that? And a lot of these ones that were sort of inside this book, all of a sudden, like people who never heard of these comics, these were really obscure comics. Like the big one was Suspense Tales #3 that nobody had heard of. It was like sort of an unknown book. And then it appeared in the Gerber's Guide, and all of a sudden that book became the most valuable non-superhero book of all time. It was became a super valuable book. And it's cool to have this history. I believe this is the first edition too. This is the 89 guide. And it says first printing too. So I always like to get the first prints. I'm weird that way. I don't like reprints. So this is the first print, and I got it cheaper than cover. I like that. I think it was like $15 or $20. It wasn't really that expensive. But I just thought it was really great. It's and I don't feel like opening it. I'd open it up more, but I don't want to mangle it trying to show it on camera. So I'm just really excited to have this in my collection because it's going to help me so much. It's one of those books that you have to go through, and you have to look through it and really enjoy, because it shows you so many comics that you would never see unless you have such a guide. Like, one of the things that I really appreciate about collecting like Seduction and Innocent books is it has taught me so much about the Golden Age, about a lot of these books that have been sort of lost to time. And I've become very knowledgeable as a result of just finding out about all these cool covers and cool comics that you just never hear about. And this guide is that kind of thing, where it kind of connects you to a lot of these forgotten titles and comics that really should get a lot more love. So I'm super excited to have that in my collection. It's probably going to make my shopping way more expensive. I'm sort of worried about that part, but it's going to be a fun journey. So hopefully you'll stay with me on that journey and watch the other things that I pick up in my unboxing videos. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my other videos. I'll link one of them below. You can check it out. Thanks again. Bye for now.